Apparently, if you want subscribers, you got to put a video out every now and again. Here's one. I love bats. They're like tiny bears with wings. I wish I had a pet bat, one that could come home to me at night, maybe come through a little cat flap. Bat flap! I'm really lucky to live right next to this beautiful woodland, which is home to a wide variety of British wildlife, as well as 9 different species of bat. There are some bat boxes in the woods and I like contributing where I can. I had thought of buying one to donate to the organisation that volunteers and maintains the woodland, but then I thought, I can make one, surely. Not long after, I saw a post from the Bat Conservation Trust with a design for what is called the Kent Bat Box. It's been updated now, but at the time the dimensions were missing the lengths of wood, so only the width and thickness. Using some quick maths, yes, maths, multiple maths, I was able to estimate the lengths of the panels, assuming it was drawn to scale. I didn't have Blender to hand, so I sort of 3D modelled it with a pencil and ruler and came up with the 3 main lengths required. 450 for the back, 300 for the centre, and 150 for the front. I assembled them like Tetris, as you can see at the side, to work out what size plank of wood to order from the local timber merchants. I've skipped that embarrassing encounter which involved purchasing, confusion, my lack of understanding of the word nominal, more confusion, and an awkward refund. It turns out it's pretty hard to order exact measurements of wood, if you have my lack of experience. Anyway, while walking to my car after work one day, I saw someone left what looks like it used to be a small bed. Yoink! Free wood! Straight in the car. These pieces are too narrow, I'd have to joint them and I'd introduce another point of failure. These are the pieces I'm interested in. They appear to be from interior joinery. I don't think they're treated, and they've got a wood stain on them that looks like it's just water-based dye. Just in case, I'm going to take a few mil off each face with the sander and hand plane so that I'm left with bare wood. First, to remove the decorative wood thing, that's the technical term, I'm using a chubby chisel and a hammer to help with this. I'll be sharpening it later, so don't worry. PPE on, and I'm sanding away with a belt sander. The wood is slightly thicker than what I need, so I'm going to plane it down, and I have to stop occasionally to admire the long unbroken shavings of wood. There's something so satisfying about them and razor sharp plane blades. Not so satisfying not having a solid workbench though. Oh yeah, lovely ribbon. It's almost like I could use it for something. Okay, stop distracting yourself, Scott. After planing the wood to the right dimensions as per my plan, I transferred the cutting lines onto the pieces of wood. 450mm for the back, 300mm for the middle, 150 for the top. 2 300mm rails and 250mm rails, with a little extra for a 45-degree bevel, or chamfer, or whatever it's called. I'm simply cutting along all the lines I've drawn to create all the pieces of wood I'll need. At this time in my life I don't own a miter saw, which would have made this a lot quicker. I have one now, which might save my old aching elbows in future. The longer cuts I decided to use my bandsaw for. My bandsaw, however, disagreed with this decision and in turn told me to go f*** myself in a passive-aggressive manner. Fine, I'll do it the weird way. My phone ran out of space around then, so I've saved you having to see that. Here are all the parts now stacked up, and I have to say I think it's going to come out alright. Now, it's time to do some braining. The decking screws I have are 70mm, and so too long to go through the whole lot on the top thicker side. I know I could drive in some screws from the front, but I want my bat box to have no visible screws. Instead, as the screws are long enough to go in starting from the rear spacer, I'll put them in there and then I can put the back on and then screw that into the main assembly. No visible screws and added strength. Further down it's no issue. Well, let's get drilling! I'm drilling in from the back with the back plate on, so I know where the internal screws are going to be later on. As the drill bit isn't even the length of the screws, I'm having to drill deeper, each time removing a layer from the back. I'm putting the screws in now so that the tips can mark the front panel drill holes. I'm drilling those holes now with a little bit of tape as a depth gauge so I don't go all the way through. Time for a test fit, which after some fiddling about, I eventually stopped getting wrong. With a slice of one of the bed slats, I'm adding a standoff. I already know where the existing screws are, so I can use that knowledge to avoid drilling into a screw. I don't like this hole here, and I don't want to use any unnatural filler, so I decided to draw an anatomically incorrect bat logo on the front. I can drill out the eyes and put dowels in them. Eye 1 and Eye 2. Aye bat 10. Sorry. A short game of the world's easiest whack-a-mole. Cut off the excess. There. Now I want to sort of engrave the bat outline into the wood. I'm scoring along the lines with a bladed instrument at 45 degrees from each side of the lines, so I should end up with a V-shaped groove. It would take me too long to faff about with the CNC machine. Now removing the wood carefully, making sure not to end up scraping more lines, which I managed to somehow do, despite my incredible bad luck in anything I do. Graphite's pretty much harmless, so I've used this to accentuate the lines in case it's not clear enough from a distance. Completely unnecessary. Rubbing it in, again unnecessarily, and now sanding the whole front smooth. Time to stain it. I'm using stunning stains from Crimson Guitars, which are water-based, non-toxic and nothing nasty in them. It even says on the bottle you can drink it, it's that safe, although they do also say you probably shouldn't. I did have a little lick of some once, nothing bad happened. I want to make it a reddish brown as part of a private joke between me and a friend who we call the Red Bat when she gets angry. Yellow and blue make up green, which I can then mix with the red I have somewhere, and then warm up the colour with some amber. And if I need to make it darker, I have black. Give them all a good shaky shake shake. Blue. Yellow. Yellow. Red. Red. Mix. Amber. Mix. Testing it on some scrap. I think I nailed it in one. I'm applying it all now to the wood. I'll have plenty left over so I can save that for another project that requires a reddish brown wood stain. Maybe I'll use that on my second bird table that I've only just thought about making. I've not even put up the video of the first bird table yet. Looks like I may have gotten a little carried away. This clever boy stained some of the batons without finishing cutting them. I'm cutting a 45-degree bevel, chamfer, woodworky word to make it look more unique. I'm rounding off the edges though, as I don't want to introduce any sharp angles. Bats are delicate. Oh, clever boy. One of the screw locations was in part of the baton that I removed. I'll sort it. Next, the panels need something for the bats to climb up and hang on to. I have this chicken wire left over from a failed flower protection project. If I hide the sharp edges under the batons, this would be great. Here's a rough mock-up. As you can see though, the exposed edges of the wire are, well, exposed. I thought about drilling small holes into which I could tuck the wire, but I don't have the confidence that they would stay in. I don't know much about bats, but I know that they need to fly to survive, and the idea of a bat's wing being perforated on one of these sharp wires makes me think they won't be able to fly properly, which would make me feel sick with guilt. But having a look at the existing bat boxes, I can see that the wire mesh they used has edges that can be smoothed or deburred. I don't have that sort of mesh, but I do have a CNC machine. Here I'm cutting some grooves into the wood instead for them to grip onto. I couldn't tell at the time, but something wasn't quite right, and I didn't notice this happen. That's one of the bearings, which has two purposes. One of the purposes is to hold the shaft straight. With the sawdust in the way, everything looks to be going just fine. Luckily, I checked halfway through and I was able to push the bearings back into place, so only half of it looks like I was doing it by hand with my eyes closed. The back of the front panel was nearly there when I saw that both bearings had come down. I've since CA glued them back into place. I routed some grips onto both sides of each cavity, so if they get bored of sleeping on one side, they can switch it up. I didn't put stain all the way up so that the bats have some raw wood inside. Nobody will ever see that part, apart from you, and you don't care. I routed some grooves around the outside so I could put some sort of gasket to stop any rainwater seeping in. Probably not important, but it's not like they can call me out as their landlord to repair a leak in their apartment. Here's the finished product. I'd forgotten to incorporate the roof into the design, but the leftover offcut turned out to be the perfect size, although I'd have preferred it to have been a little wider. It's not been a smooth journey, but it's satisfying to have completed it. There's the sort of bat emblem on the front. Here's a little ladder up to their bedroom, and around the back I've put this standoff so it won't get as much water runoff from the tree. And about 6 months later, Steve from the Friends of Selsdon Wood kindly put up the bat box right by the newly renovated pool. There it is, up there! A thing I made on a tree! At this point it's been up for a few weeks, so I've got no idea if it's in use at this point. Certainly not the rear cavity, which has spiderwebs in it, but maybe the front? Who knows? I made another thing! This is my bat detector. I'll put the video up soon of me making that. Mind you, I always say that. It does work, it's just that you need bats. I think I might be a bit too early, they're probably still asleep. Somewhere else. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Bat. I'll have a little walk until the sun probably goes down. This area usually sees a lot of bat-tivity. How's that for a carving? Man, imagine having the skill to make that from a tree stump with a chainsaw. They make it look so easy. Mine would have screws and nails sticking out all over and would probably end up looking like half a giant pigeon. Anyway, bats. We're here for the bats. Come on, bats, it's time to wake up. A little while later, there's bats! Right by the bat box! Oh, I can hear one. Where are you, batty boy? Oh, did you just see that? He is going towards that bat box. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, there's one, yeah. Oh, right in front of us. Did you see that? Oh. Can you see these lovely bats? Oh, we're getting quite the display. Geiger counter. I've saved the best footage of the bats for the Bat Detective video, which is either out already by the time you see this, or I've gotten distracted, made another thing and lost interest. Maybe in about 10 years time when I get up to like 500 subscribers, you'll be able to watch both videos back to back. God, I'm sure I lost about 2 subscribers just on that comment alone. Sorry. Check the description below for a link on how you can make your own bat box, and maybe the mistakes that I've made might make it easier for you to make your own one. Let me know in the comments below on how you think I could have made my life a lot easier and how much better you are than I am. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Bye! Ow.